Alright, let's go over this one-line practice as I outlined it in the blog, and we can go through a little more details. This is one of several one-line practices, and they're designed as a doing and learning practice, not as a magic line or a setup to memorize. This is about having a consistent way to draw, okay, and from that allowing price to teach you about price. That's what I mean by it's a doing practice. So that's the way I want it approached. And how you approach something matters. If you just approach it as some magic probability setup, well, you know, you're going to get not so much out of this practice. So it's meant to actually get your hands on and see some things. So let's go over some of the details. In the instructions, by isolating two confirmed swings, and I define swings, and we've done blogs on swings already, relative swings. By isolating two confirmed swings that are relative, meaning same size, what we've done is we've managed to take, in this seeming bit of chaos, we've managed to take and carve out some behavior that's very organized. All right, so we found some behavior that's very organized. It's basically a contraction. Right? Markets contract and expand, contract and expand. So by isolating this, we found some behavior that's organized, and now we have a way to see if that behavior continues or if it changes. I've stated some main objectives for the exercise up here, which is how you approach it. And it's a training to isolate relative structures, relative swings or mountains or whatever structures. It's a training to learn to quickly orient yourself to any price chart. It's just price. It's just trading. That's all it is. And so we train to isolate these and see these, because once you can see these, you can see what the market's doing, and you can see when the market stops doing that. And the big one is to allow price flow, to teach you about price flow. Put down all the books, put down all the courses. Okay? The reading is not going to help. This is a moving situation. You need to get the learning in your own experience, and so this is the way you can learn to author it yourself. And that's what these exercises were designed for. And so you want to be able to set yourself aside, your expectations, what you want, what you're scared of, your last trade, the next trade, the $1 million you're going to make this month. You put all that aside, because it's got nothing to do with trading. It just has to do with you. And instead, by drawing a very simple line, you can then follow price. And it changes your experience of trading. So while you're in real time and the market's doing its thing, you don't have to do all kinds of speculation and predictions and it's a top and it's a bottom and it's a this. You can draw a simple line and let the line tell you. This is just one of many tools, but I'm trying to get the gist across here. So you can relax a little bit rather than fighting it. So this can be used in a lot of ways, and I'll show some examples here in a few minutes. And so by using a very simple method, okay, by using a very simple method, we don't have to put together a whole lot of things here. And one of the benefits of this, traders talk a whole lot about the internal side of trading. And there's all kinds of head shrinker books about the internal side of trading and how important it is, blah, blah, blah. All right? Well, we're not here to read about it. We're here to do it. And so one of the things this can do is, by drawing a simple line and following a simple line, it can help regulate or modulate all the mind fluctuations that are going on with you. your rhythm. In the same way that when you're agitated, if you take a few deep breaths, what happens is you start taking a few deep breaths and your body says to your mind, hey fool, right? Slow down, follow me, follow my pace. Slow down, and a few deep breaths can calm your mind. Well, this can work in the same way. So you follow it, and by following it, it can help adjust that rhythm and that agitation most of us feel while we're trading. So that's just something to think about. It's an actual internal doing, and you have to experience it. So it can help modulate that. All right. So it's just a simple practice, no magic to it. So I want to articulate some things about this also, and then we'll practice a little bit. All right. First of all, what we're going to do is we're always going to follow the last two relative confirmed swings. Relative, I'm measuring by the reaction, like I'm defining these things here. Meaning that say, for instance, price comes up here. So let's say we put our line in. Right, we're going to follow the last two. And then we have another swing up here. And it's also a relative swing. So what will happen is we'll drop this, move it like here, and now follow this. So a for instance on this chart would be, I have one high and a confirmed swing low. Another high and a confirmed swing low. And so what I would do is draw a line like this. So I'm following the last two. And then when price makes another new high, I'm going to drop that and just keep following the last two. So that's what I mean here by the notes. We're going to keep following the last two always. And then as price approaches that line, and in practice, practice with back data, rolling the chart forward, and then learn to practice in real time as well. Learn to practice in real time as well. And then as price approaches your line, make observations. Okay, we tested. The buyers actually pick up on this slope here. Right? That's a fact. And now this swing is trying to make a higher swing. Okay, it changes. That's changed. Boom. And then make observations, zoom, retest the backside, so on and so forth. And then if it turns down, and this is one we did live in the sessions, if it starts to turn down, what you do is you follow it the other way. As soon as price organizes itself into, see, I'm just looking at the reaction legs. They're about the same size. Right? It doesn't have to be perfect, but they're about the same size. It's the same thing as this. But when price, see, it's not very organized here. They're not same size swings. When price does organize itself into same size swings, and I get two lows, confirming two highs, then I can draw a very simple line. I don't have to guess what gold's doing. It's going down along that line until it's not. Now this isn't to say you can't do other trades, all right? One of the benefits of doing this is it does relax your mind, often to see other trades that are unrelated to the line. And so this is how we learn to use our tools rather than be used by our tools and, just trying to put responsibility on somebody's setup. All right, so as you see, price is just going down along that line, and then you make observations. Okay, we're not going that way anymore. That's very simple. That's very simple. This whole way down, people were trying to buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, buy it, and predict. This is very simple. And then you make observations about what happens with that line. So you see we get the same kind of retest there. Alright, so let's go practice this on a few charts. And we can see it in some different situations. Let's see what we'll use. We'll use some recent markets. This is a gold tick chart. These are a derivative of that exercise. But we'll use some recent markets in the Aussie and in the 10-year notes that were going on this week, including this week's oil, which I was tracking. Let's just start with that. Do a little practicing. So this is from this week. So what we have is an oil tick chart. Now, just a reminder, while doing this practice, don't expect the line to hold, not to hold, to retest, to change. Don't expect anything. Just follow the line and see what it can teach you. Okay, just a reminder. So we're looking at the oil market, just a tick chart, day trading chart in the oil market. And the thing you want to do is be able to take this chaos and say, all right, is there some kind of organized type behavior that the market's showing you? And we can do that just by training and learning to see swings. And so, you just pick a few swings. Right? So if I pick a swing here and I pick a swing here, and then I measure the reaction leg, say, all right, is that about that size? No, not really. There's a bigger one there. Say, all right, so what we have is impulse and then reaction. So I'll look at the reaction leg to that and put it. Okay, so now I have some very organized behavior. Very organized behavior. Now, the difference between using this line is it comes after the behavior happens. And by the way, this is what median lines do before that. The median line will project where that might happen. All right, so just so we can understand a little bit about how things work in process, a series of median lines will project that swing. And then once it's in place, it's kind of easy to see. When you see it in place, and it's real simple, you draw one simple line. The market's going down. Period. The end. The market's not going down anymore. And then you make observations about how price, and it's showing you a natural way that price swings. Everybody gets excited back here and everybody gets upset right here, and that's just the way price tends to swing. Again, don't expect it. Watch what it does and make observations. So this is what I was looking at this week as a trade idea based on price not going that way anymore. Okay, so very simple. Very simple. It's not a matter of magic lines. I mean, when you train this way, you'll also learn to isolate relative structures like the bigger swing, and then even your median line drawing will become more precise. Let's do a little more practice. So this is the Aussie that we have been working some of these practices live. And so, for instance, as we watch the market march up, we watched it switch. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. Then as the market marched down, see if you can take this mess and begin to see the swings that are involved here. It takes a little bit of work to begin to see the swing structure and all the mess and everybody jumping up and down. You just say, alright, that was about that big. Almost to the tick, right? Days later. It's a 60-minute Aussie chart. So then you draw a line. And the fact of the matter is, no matter what you're looking at way over here on the left, or what you're thinking, or what the news is, price is going down along that path until it's not anymore. So notice this is the, again, I'm not building a setup, but it's the same type of situation as we just looked at in this week's tick chart. Now we're on a 60-minute chart. Same type of situation. So these are, ones we've worked live just to see what we can learn. Alright, now let's do a little bit of practice here, okay? Let's do a little bit of practice. If I want to keep these around, so we remember the instructions. Okay? So, now I'm on the notes. Again, it seemingly looks like a mess, right? But you can begin to organize this. And just a reminder, by identifying and following two simple swings, price will let you know in a simple way that it's continuing or it's changing. So you come in and you identify two swings. Double check the reaction legs and make sure they're about the same size. And again, almost to the tick. See, this is the kind of thing, median lines. Project. Now from there, it's very easy. Just going to attach a line, follow it, and make observations. So we can see here price has organized itself into some kind of an organized behavior. It's like a coil. And now we're starting to map the markets. That's why this is called market maps, our sessions. We're starting to make distinctions in this flow of price and begin to make a map out of it. Now from here it's just simple observing. Whenever price gets to the line or makes another swing, we'll move the line. You want to make observations. Okay? You want to make observations of what happens when price gets there. That's simple. Okay, it's not doing that anymore. Very simple. Then the next thing is to make observations as to what happens afterwards. Now, in the last few cases, prices come back to retest the line and then continue down. It's very simple. People trading all day long, up and down, back and forth, very upset, very this, very that. This is something's changed. This is about making money. You're trading, right? You can do this on minor swings, or you can do this on major swings. And then if price makes two organized swings on the way down, then you follow it that way. And then other parts of this exercise, you know, have to do with adding lines and so forth. Very simple. Now, over here, don't forget the objectives. Train to isolate relative structures. So a swing is a swing is a swing, whether it's major or minor. And what I mean by major or minor is I'm using reaction legs. Okay? So I'm saying, okay, these are about the same size, but if I get up here and I start making swings like this, notice that the red is a different animal than the blue. They're both swings. They're both two confirmed swings. So for instance, I can follow the major, or I can follow the minor, or I can follow both, up and down. So once you learn to see one, then you can learn to see the other. So look in this chart and see if you can see the minor swings on the way up that are also relative, that meet the instructions. Just follow the swings on the way up and see if you see two swings that are also relative but smaller than this. So this would be major. And if you look, you can say, okay, I have swing. A new high confirms a low. A new high confirms a low. I have two swings. And now I can actually do the same exercise just on minor swings. So I'm changing the colors so we can see that the blue animal is different than the gray animal here. Different relationships to each other. And you can see these guys, they're about the same size. And so when you do this kind of work, you get very attuned to the rhythm of the market, what it's doing, rather than getting excited at everything. And the same thing goes here. You are going to make observations as to what price does with that line. It's continuing in a minor. This is continuing in a major. Again, I'm not building setups. I'm just trying to get you to see price. And this again retests the backside and continues down. Okay? And then we can do some separate learning just by making observations. What's it look like before it crashes, right? It bunches up, cracks, returns to the place it lets loose from, makes a new low, right? It bunches up, cracks, makes a new minor low. Now I'm just making observations that I might be able to carry into my next 1,000 trades, right? My learning. See, now the line is starting to teach me. So new minor low and then return to the scene of the crime. We call that return to the scene of the crime. So this is a minor fashion. Now if I look at the major, it does the same thing. It bunches up, cracks, and then returns to the scene of the crime after making a new major low. And these are just some of the observations you can make along the way. And these are how you can even start to develop your own setups when you start to see things repeat over and over and over again. So that's why I say part of this is training to isolate relative structures. Okay. So start with one, and after a while you do some practice, you'll be able to follow both in real time, up and down, but that takes a little practice. See, there's a lot to see in the chart once you learn how to map it with just some simple swings. This is just one simple technique. It's one line. That's it. It's just one line. You can even go back to that gold daily chart and see if it did the same thing with the line it broke. Okay, so go practice and see if you can let price be your teacher here. We are following a few things live, so let me set some things up that we can perhaps watch in the future. There's watch the switch over here. So here we're following something that just two lines about the same size, right? Two swings, making projections. Price has cracked it, hasn't beaten the first swing, and it's just sort of hanging right here now. So this is something we can follow up on later. But let's set something up in like a weekly chart, something that everybody loves to get excited about, that we can follow up in this blog at some point. So let's take Apple. Everybody likes to get excited about Apple. It's on a weekly chart. And this is very simple. Find your two swings. Let's draw a line. And as price is going up, okay, you can then also practice seeing any relative swings and then do a minor line. So it looks like we have a swing about yay big. So if this thing pulls back, I'll be kind of curious whether it gives us another swing we can put a line on here. And then you can play with this as well, right? You put it across the tops and see what it has to tell you. All right, so this will give us some time to follow up sometime probably next year. All right, thanks for your attention.